What's up, guys? Benny Adams here with Let's Binge About It. I say this all the time, but I am extremely excited to be talking to Logan Allen today. He's on Sweet Magnolias. An amazing show. Amazing show. Season 2, binged all of it. How are you, Logan?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. So Sweet Magnolias, I want to congratulate you because it is in the top 10. It was number 1, still in the top 10, top 5. When you signed on to this project, did you know it would still be this popular going into season 2?
Yo, I mean, it's crazy. I didn't even know season 1 was going to be as popular as it was. I remember filming it and we were like, this show's special because everybody, the chemistry in the show, like all the actors get along so well and kind of feed off of each other when we do scenes. So we knew the chemistry was there. We knew that the writing was there, the directing, everything was amazing about it. But you never know with something, sometimes stuff bombs, so you really don't know what to expect. But we reached number 1 with season 1 for like 3 or 4 days, and like that was just insane. And then coming back for season 2 and to see the love that we got, we were number 1 the day after it came out, which is just insane, bro. And then we were number 1 for a week after that. So like, just it's crazy to see the support and like the continued support, you know what I mean? It's like you said, and with season 2. So everybody's really showing all types of love and support. And me and the cast and crew, we always message each other and talk about it. It's very surreal.
So the show is like it's popular now. It's popular. It was popular season 1. People already know it. It's a huge hit. So is this just like, oh, it's another show I'm on, no big deal, I get it, it's a big show? Or do you still have to pinch yourself that you're a part of something so massive on Netflix?
What's funny is sometimes I'll be going through Netflix to watch something and I'll see my face. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm on Netflix. Okay, cool. No, seriously, it's crazy, dude. And like, it's really, really surreal. Definitely. I still can't grasp the idea that we were number 1, and like just the millions and millions of people that watch the show, and the thousands of supporters that talk to me every day. And, I see people in public as well, and people come up and say hi. And that's one of my favorite parts of being an actor, is like actually interacting with people and seeing the impact that you also have like on their lives. Like people will say that it helped them get through depression. You know what I mean? It helped them get through really dark times, and to actually have that impact on somebody means so much to me and the rest of the cast and crew. I mean, we talk about it all the time, and like, yeah, man, it's very surreal for sure. And I definitely have to pinch myself just seeing it all come together. And that's one of my favorite parts of being an actor. I was telling you before we started this, like just seeing it come to life. It's really weird because, you feel like, when you watch a show and you're like, man, I wish I was in that town or in that city because it has this cool vibe about it. When you're filming it, you don't know what that vibe's going to be. You know what I mean? You don't know how it's going to translate onto screen. So actually seeing that vibe on screen and seeing, it all play out with the music, the cinematography, the color, all that they do post-production, it's insane. And I love it so much. And the support, like I said, has been incredible. So we really, really appreciate it all.
Dude, that's so funny that you mentioned that, where you said, a lot of people were saying like, I wish I was in a town like that, because I'm watching this and I'm like, this town is perfect. Yeah, you have people that go through some dark times, but somehow those dark times still look amazing compared to the real world. And I was just like, wow, like I would love to live in a town like this. And it's funny because I live in LA, and I'm like, I would never live in LA. Like I would move to that town.
Yeah, no, same here. Yeah, we filmed in Covington, Georgia. So it's like right east of Atlanta, I think. And it's just like that. It's a small town. Vampire Diaries was filmed there, so it's known as Mystic Falls. So it's a lot of stuff is actually filmed there, the originals, all that stuff. And that it pretty much is like a little Serenity. It's really quiet, but it's a tourist area because people come to see the locations, because a lot of stuff films there. So there's a lot of people there, but it still has this small town vibe to it. It's really strange. But if you're ever in the Atlanta area, definitely take the drive to Covington. You can look at all the movies that were filmed there, all the TV shows and the props. They have like a couple of centers for that. But it's such a cool little town. And I say that to everybody, but it's so true. Like if I could live in Covington, I would. I love it so much.
That's so awesome. I want to go back to where you were talking about people coming up to you saying, oh, hey, I recognize you from the show. we were talking earlier and you were saying that you're finishing up your senior year in high school, which by the way, congratulations. I know that's very exciting. So with the popularity of the show, do people in school come up to you and say, "Oh my gosh, like I can't believe this happened. I can't believe that happened with your character"?
Yeah, it's really funny running into people and you're really connecting with people too. You know what I mean? That I haven't seen in a while as well. That have watched the show, all the family members that have seen it, teachers that have seen it. It's really funny. It's really great. Just to, once again, because what I love about this show too is that everybody can relate to at least one character. So, you can be, 5 years old and enjoy the show. You can be, 80 or up and enjoy the show. It's like everybody, all age groups, all cultures can sit down and relate and love this show so much. And that's what I really think. I think that's a big factor to its success because everybody can relate to it. And I think that's why it helps people get through dark times as well. You know what I mean? Because they can relate with different things. And there's a lot of life lessons in the show too. You actually learn stuff while you're watching it because a lot of it's real issues that we've all experienced in real life. So it's easier to connect to the characters and relate to them more. But yeah, dude, no, it's funny when I run into people and they say they're big fans of the show, and it's crazy, man. I really love all the support. And sometimes people are like, they'll DM me after and they're like, "Oh, I saw you at Walmart today, but I was scared to come say hi." It's like, no. If you ever see me in public, come say hi. I don't bite, I promise. And it's just, I love seeing people, that are fans of the show and just seeing my supporters in real life. It's amazing, man.
I love that. And I love how you also mentioned, the topics that the show covers. You guys cover some deep, tough issues. And your character, I noticed for the first half of the season, he did go through some really dark times. And so I want to know, what was that like? Because for the first season, he was more of this, happy-go-lucky type of teenager. This season, we see more of a darker side to him. What was that like going from such a drastic change of the character?
Yeah, those last, few moments at the end of season 1 and the first like 3 episodes in season 2, Kyle, man, it gets worse and worse as it goes too. He just goes through so much and it's almost to the point where he's not likable. You know what I mean? You're sitting there like, man, he's like really is getting a little crazy. And Kyle in season 1 was like one of the most likable characters. I mean, everybody loves him so much because he's like the one nice kid. And he's almost too nice sometimes that he lets people take advantage of him, but that's a whole nother story, right? But yeah, it was really fun to dive into a darker side of that because I don't really get that many opportunities to kind of dive into that emotion. And so, especially with Kyle, and that's one thing too, is even though I did a whole season with Kyle in season 1, I got to dive back into the character and explore him even more in season 2. And that right there shows how good the writers are. Sheryl and the writers' room, they're incredible. They do such a good job at like, it's funny when you think you know a character, you don't. And then they do something crazy and you're like, oh, okay, they got a whole nother side. And they really expand with Cal in season 2 and his character a lot. I don't know if you remember that, but he has a big storyline in season 2 where they dive deeper into his character. You think you know him, but you really don't. And it's the same thing kind of happens with Kyle. There's another side to him that you're like, I didn't know that existed. Okay. So yeah, that's really props to the writers and how good of a job they do with the characters, because even though even after the characters can be a little iffy and you might not like them as much, they're still likable and relatable in some way. And that right there takes serious skill. So shout out to the writers' room. They do an incredible job.
That's so true. And as I'm watching season 2, even season 1, as I'm watching, literally after each episode, I'm like, well, what's going to happen next? Like, I can't turn this off now. Like, I have to binge it.
No, seriously. Yeah. We every episode, and of course, at the end of season 2, we had another big cliffhanger. There's a couple cliffhangers. So yeah. Listen, we gotta keep bringing you guys back. That's the whole point of Netflix and dropping 10 episodes at once. Just gotta binge them all the way through. I remember the day it dropped, February 4th, the season 2. People already watched it like midway through that day. And I was like, you had to watch it back to back to back to back, starting at like 3:00 in the morning. Like, how you guys did that was insane. And like, it's crazy, but I love that dedication. And to see that people enjoy the show that much, dude, I love it, man. I love it so much. And it's crazy. But yeah, at the end of every episode, we got to bring you back just for a little more.
It's that good, man. It's that good. And so I want to talk more about your character. So for the first couple of episodes, you're in a cast. What was that like, filming in a cast? Have you filmed in a leg cast before? Was it hard? Was it, oh, it's whatever?
You know, it's funny. My cast is right there hanging up. I actually have it in my room, believe it or not. They let me take it home. I can see it right now. But yeah, no, that was really fun. I'm actually gonna post a few pictures this week, hopefully this week or next week, of the whole process. I went to some hospital in Atlanta, and they actually did like a mold of my leg, and they did like an actual cast. And it's more of like a flexible material, so it's not an exact, cast, but it's pretty rough too, because what they did is they got like a cast kind of material. They cut a line all the way in the back so I can kind of slide it on almost like a sock. And then they wrap it. So they close that up. They put on some I don't know what, some kind of cloth over it, and then they wrap it. And I have a whole video on how they do it. So like I said, I'm going to post that this week or next week. So, for everybody that wants to know the specifics. But yeah, then they have to wrap it, which takes, that whole process takes like a solid 5 to 6 minutes. So you're just sitting there while they do it. And the prop people had to do that every single day. And they had to make it look exactly like, like how they did it before, because you got to keep the continuity. And then eventually people were signing it. I think Carson had more signatures than me, who plays Ty, but so it's crazy. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. So, props to the prop people, because they just did an incredible job of keeping that consistent, and all the names and stuff. I had Katie all the way on the side, I think, and they had to write it the same way every time because they had to rewrap it. So like that was a whole process. And for me, it was cool. I had to kind of use some crutches sometimes to get around because it was kind of bent and it's my leg. So I had to kind of use crutches, but it was a fun process, and it was cool to dive into. And another thing too, is when they took the cast off, my leg's still healing, right? So I had to do like a limp throughout the rest of the season. Yeah. So being able to add that element to it was really fun, because like every, 2 episodes, my limp would get, smaller and smaller. So to kind of keep that in the back of my mind was really fun. I liked it, like a little challenge. So it was cool. Right.
Exactly. What was the best signature that you got on your cast?
Ooh, that's a good question. What's really cool is the whole prop team actually signed it after. So, man, you know what? Hold up. Give me a second.
Let's see it.
We got it right here. So here it is. Woo! The green one. There's signatures all on the side of it. And this is the whole prop department. And they just did such a great job, and they all signed it. And yeah, this thing right here, man, it went through a lot for season 2. Awesome. But yeah, I think it was the first 4 episodes I had it on. But it's cool that they gave it to me too, because at first they said they couldn't give it to me. I was like, man. And then the last day of filming, they brought it in. So it's really cool, man. It's cool to have that on my wall and have a little memory. So it's great.
Right. And speaking of memory, so I saw on your Instagram account, pictures of you and the other cast like hanging out. What are some cool things that you guys do when you weren't filming, when you guys were just waiting to film?
Man, we didn't have as much flexibility as season 1 because of COVID. We filmed season 2 through COVID. So probably my favorite part of really being on set was lunch originally for season 1, because before COVID, you all got to eat lunch together. So we get this long table and just eat all together and just have some laughs and have fun. And then season 2, we had to go back to our trailer by ourselves and eat, which kind of sucked. But in between, I don't know, we just kind of play around whatever we have around us. We just mess around with. We talk a lot. Get to know each other more, which I think really helps us when we actually film, because we know each other more. Our chemistry is better, which I think is why the show is so great, because everybody's chemistry is just so good, especially the 3 main ladies. They do an amazing job. I mean, they just feed off of one another. It's so good. But yeah, so a lot of just hanging out, talking. You see in my latest Instagram post, they had a coffee machine or a coffee truck or whatever. Went and got some coffee, enjoyed it. Right. Before we did some big scenes. So it's so much fun just to, that's probably one of my favorite parts of being an actor as well, is actually getting to know the people and meeting people. And like, I'm a huge fan of Chris Klein and JoAnna and Justin and all these people, and Brooke and Heather. So like, and actually being able to work with them and getting to know them was like, very surreal. You know what I mean? I remember watching JoAnna on Reba when I was younger. And actually
Yes.
seeing her, that was my show. I was like, my grandma and mom would watch all the time, and I was seeing her. And now, like, actually seeing her in person, it was, and getting to know her, and she's such a great friend, and being able to have a relationship with her, man, it's crazy, dude. It's very surreal.
I remember when the first time I was watching the show, and I see the cast. I'm like, oh, that's JoAnna. Okay, that's cool. And then I
Yeah.
see Heather Headley. I'm like, wait, I have to do a double check. I'm like, Heather Headley, like I know her as a singer. Like I didn't know she
Yeah,
was an
dude.
actor, and she's amazing. She's so good. Like all of them are so good. What's
Yeah.
it like working with those three talented women?
Man, they are, like you said, so talented, and it's crazy. I wasn't, because yeah, I wasn't familiar with Heather's acting side before we started filming. I knew her as a singer, obviously, but she's amazing. And it's funny, every season they give a little sprinkle of her singing a little bit. There's always one scene with her singing, and thank God, because it's like an angel. She's amazing though, and so Heather, I haven't really done many scenes with Heather. Which kind of stinks, but hopefully, season 3, we'll see. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we do a little something. But every time I've talked with her and met her, she's an amazing lady and so talented. And Brooke Elliot, who's just so funny, from Drop Dead Divas, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing, and she's very talented, gets into character, kills it every single take. And then JoAnna, who I've done the most scenes with, she is one of the most talented people I've worked with, period. She is seriously someone who doesn't have one bad take. You know what I mean? Sometimes we screw up our lines, we forget something, we forget an action. JoAnna does it perfectly every single time. And for someone to be able to do that, it's amazing. So all three ladies are so talented, and the margarita nights, I think, are probably my favorite scenes to watch, because they just feed off of each other. It's like really three best friends, lifelong friends, getting together and just kind of pouring it out. So they're all so talented, and hopefully, we get some more scenes together in season 3.
I'm sure you will, man. I'm sure you will. And, speaking of season 3, well, before we get to that, I want to talk about these last 2 episodes without giving away any spoilers for the people who haven't seen it yet. How mind blown were you for just the last 2 episodes? Because it was crazy. It was crazy to me. Like, did you see it coming? Did you have a feeling about it? Like, what were your thoughts on it?
Neither me or the cast knew what was coming, man. They don't tell us anything. And I remember sitting down and doing the table read, which, for everybody that doesn't know, it's like where you get together with the cast and you read the script for the episodes. And I remember reading those last 2 episodes with the cast, and we were like, whoa, what's going on? Because it was one thing after another. It wouldn't stop. Something would happen. You'd be like, whoa, taking it back a little bit. You'd be like, okay, that was pretty crazy. And then something else would happen. You'd be like, oh, okay. And then that final ending, you're like, whoa. And like, you're just emotionally drained at the end. You don't know what's happening, what's going on. But I think that that's a perfect segue, hopefully, into season 3, and we can explore it more. There's a lot of character. I mean, there's so many doors that were left open at the end, with so many different characters, and it's so interesting to see the relationships, the friendships. Once again, there's a couple backgrounds to some characters that we really don't even know yet, and we were ready to explore. So it's such an interesting last 2 episodes. And to be honest, I think season 2 is better than season 1. And I think the pacing's better. I think it's like, especially those last 2 episodes, man, there's just something about them. Just the pacing, it was so action packed almost toward the end there. You're like, oh, okay, cool. It was wild.
It was definitely a different feel. You the first season, I feel more was like an introduction to everyone, getting the viewers used to, all the characters. And then the second season, you guys just went all in there.
And you know what's funny about that too is usually, I think they call them purist, I think, is when someone likes season 1 the best, or like someone likes the original movie and the franchise the best. I'm pretty much a purist when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I usually am. But I think why it's different with Sweet Magnolias is because there's like 8 books, right? Or like 9 books or something like that. So there's so much story that's already laid out. And now you have these amazing writers with Sheryl in the writer's room, and they can just explore even more and expand on that. And I think since they have so much story available, we haven't even reached the best yet. You know what I mean? I feel like we still have so much more to explore, but I feel like with most shows and movies, they've done all they can in that first movie or first season, right? And they don't really know where to go next. But Sheryl, I was talking with her and she has like 5 seasons planned out, and, just in case if we do get that many, and she's like, just so ready and prepared. So I'm so excited to see, hopefully what's in store for the show. But with season 2, yeah, man, they knew what they were doing when they got started, and they didn't even tell me who was in the car either. So for like the year and a half that we were just sitting there, nobody knew who was in the car. So it was like a mystery for us too. So they're very secretive, but they know what they're doing, and they're smart about it.
So what do you want to see happen for your character in season 3?
It's a great question. There's a lot of things. Without revealing spoilers for season 2, I think relationships, are going to be interesting to dive into. Not just for Kyle, but for Ty and Annie as well, the 3 main teenagers. I think that's going to be interesting to kind of dive into. Also to see what goes on with the relationships with the main 3 ladies. In season 2, they all have something going on with somebody, which is like, happened in season 1 as well. But in season 2, it's on a bigger scale, I think. And so I'm really interested to see where those relationships go. The big thing, or the big few things that happen at the end of season 2, are going to have a huge impact, because, when you live in a small town like Serenity, all these characters, they're all connected in some way. So when something happens, somebody else is affected either, directly or indirectly. So with those 2 big or 3 big things at the end of season 2, it's going to cause some chaos. So I'm excited to see what happens there. I know it's going to affect Kyle. Not directly, maybe not indirectly. I don't know, but I know it's going to affect Kyle in some way. And so it's really going to be interesting to see what they do there and how they go about it. We'll see what happens. Hopefully not another car crash. That'd be bad.
Yeah. I can't wait though, man. I cannot wait for season 3. Real quick, I wanted to ask you, so since you are on like a huge Netflix show, are there any shows that you're binging or any movies that like you've been watching that you really like?
Man, that's a good one. You know what? I'm a big Survivor fan. I love Survivor. Let's go. You know what's up. See, so I grew up, my mom and dad obviously watched season 1 in 2000. So they watched it for the longest time. And then it's one of my earliest memories, actually, was the theme song at the beginning, which it sucks they don't do the theme song anymore. That was like the best part of the show. But anyway, so I remember sitting there and watching like the little intro and the theme song and everything. So that's like one of the most nostalgic things for me. So I love Survivor. I've been binge watching it. I got Paramount Plus just to watch Survivor. And then I think there's 2 seasons on Netflix right now too. But yeah, Survivor. And I think, what's interesting is I always go back and watch the same shows again. I barely go to new shows. I know that sounds weird, but like I've watched Stranger Things like 4 times. I've watched The Office like 2 or 3 times. Like it's just, I go back to this. I don't know about you, but I always kind of go back to the same shows. Like it's weird. I just kind of have that tendency, but yeah, let's see. And then movies, I'm really excited for the new Marvel movies dropping and the new Marvel TV shows that they're going to do on Disney Plus. I knew the new Doctor Strange movie and the Moon Knight and all that looks crazy. So I'm pumped.
Nice, man. I can talk to you all day about just all of this stuff. Survivor, like that's my show, man. That's my show. But Logan, I wanted to thank you again, man. Thank you so much for coming on, talking to me. Really appreciate it. Any final words for your fans?
Yeah, go watch season 2 if you haven't yet. What are you waiting for? Go check it out. It's amazing. You guys are going to love it. It's once again one of those shows. It's another season that really brings you up. Seriously, brings your spirits up. It's a show about love, family, community, relationships, friendships. You can relate to at least one character, which is really nice to have. And it's a really fun, loving show that you can sit down with your whole family and watch. I think that's what's great about it. So if you haven't seen season 2 yet, go watch it. And I'm also going to be, for everybody that doesn't know, in the new season of Stranger Things, season 4. So I'm going to be in that, which is really, really cool. So be ready for that. That's going to be exciting. And yeah, go follow me on social media. It's Logan Allen. That's my social media for everything. So go check that out. But yeah, man, no, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Wait, Logan, we got to backtrack a little bit.
Gotta take you back there for a second.
Wait. You're going to be on Stranger Things season 4?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm going to be on Stranger Things season 4.
Can you talk about that? Like, who's your character?
Yeah. Well, I can dive into it a little bit. So people are definitely going to start taking clips of this, by the way, and post it on YouTube, as they've been doing that. But yeah, man, I'm in the new season of Stranger Things. I'm not a big character in it. but I play a bully. So it's something totally different from Kyle. You know, it's his mean, nasty side that like it, and also being in the 80s, that was so dope, man. It was such a cool experience. I got to work with the Duffer Brothers, Millie Bobby Brown, and some great other people that I don't know if I can say I've worked with them, but yeah, some great people. I'm in the trailer for the California one, which is really cool. They didn't even tell me I was going to be in the trailer. So I was watching the trailer for it and I was like, oh, that's me right there. But yeah, dude, it's great. And I'm so excited for everybody to see that and to see a different side of me. You know what I mean? To see me play a different character. I'm going to be hated. People are going to hate me, but I'm excited to see it. But yeah, man, that's all really I can say. They definitely have my lips sealed on that, but yeah, dude, I'm in a couple episodes and it's a fun ride.
I'm so excited for you, man. Like, good for you. And like you said, I can't wait to see like this other side of you, because like you play like the nice guy on Sweet Magnolias. And so this guy is going to be completely different. Good for you, dude. Good for you.
I appreciate that, bro.
All right, guys. Well, we're really ending it this time. I had to ask you about that. But thank you again, Logan. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys for tuning in to watch Let's Benz About It. And I will see you guys next time.